Hey everyone, I'm Allison.
I'm Bryce,
and we're Better Half Reviews. And today we're talking about our top 50 games played in 2021. We're continuing our previous segments.
But we're on 20 through 11.
He got the numbers right. High five.
That's because you just said it.
So hopefully those were not important. So number 20 is Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. I thought this was a lot of fun and very interesting because the only other Clank we had tried before was Clank in Space. We did this over, what, 2 weekends? 2 different weekends spaced apart. Was
it 2 or 3? I thought it was 3.
I don't know, but we blitzed it out. We played lots of games and it was a lot of fun and interesting to see how the game changed and like moved around. I like the story aspects in Pandemic Legacy better, but I still had a lot of fun with this one. I just never could win a game. I was always like second.
You were very consistently second.
I know, it's ridiculous.
So my 20 is a big game. At least if you get the Ducks version. It's like gigantic.
I know.
And it doesn't fit on a calyx, which...
Unless you put it on top.
But that's not in a calyx anyway. It is Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef.
Part 1.
Part 1. I really like the gameplay in this. I think it's interesting how you have the different boards, and I'm riding on Alison. And you can go fight monsters, you can go battle in different arenas. I really like this game.
My number 19 is another Red Raven game, and that is a 2-player game called Haven. So I think I played this a few more times than you did this year, and
you definitely like it a lot more than I do too.
Yeah. Well, though it was higher on his list. Lower, numbers, okay. But yeah, so I really like the art in it because it's Red Raven, and I just like that it's one that I can decently easily teach it to people who don't necessarily play as many games.
My number 19 is, I think, our first roll-in right that we ever played, and that is Cartographers.
That's a flippin' right.
Anyway, I really like how you build out this kind of cityscape, landscape, whatever you want to call it, with water and deserts and farmland and houses, and I don't know, just think it's really cool.
Tetrisy.
Yeah. And just trying to like plan ahead to score the points and stuff is really fun, in my opinion.
That was your number?
19.
Okay. Number 18 is our first crossover in this list, and that is Cartographers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I really like the Tetrisy puzzly aspect, and I really want to try it with colored pencils or colored markers or crayons, but I'm always just too lazy to make it look nice. My maps always look ridiculous, but it's fun and I like it.
Especially when I get to draw the monsters.
Yes. I usually draw like one happy, one sad, one mad. Anyway.
So my number 18 is kind of a newer game. It just got fulfilled on Kickstarter not too long ago, and that is Night Parade of 100 Yokai.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is a really cute game. I love the different factions and how they all have different abilities. And it's just kind of like a little area control, engine building or tableau building. It's just a lot of fun.
I can't wait to try some of the expansion ones that we haven't tested out yet.
Yes, we haven't tested all the expansions.
My number 17 is a roll and write.
Okay.
And that is Rolling Realms from Stonemaier Games. So I thought this was way more interesting than I originally thought it was. I was trying to think of a different word and I couldn't. But it was way more intense in thinking, and I really like that. And I don't necessarily do that great, but I like it. And the chunky dice are super, super cool.
My number 17 is...
16? No, 17, yep, right.
Yeah, I want 17.
I'm just kidding.
My number 17 is a searching game, and that is Micro Macro.
Oh, okay, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what to call it.
My favorite Where's Waldo game.
Yeah, I didn't want to give
white.
it away. It's like a black and white Where's Waldo game. But it's fun. You have like... You're supposed to like solve murders or like solve mysteries, and you have to search around all this little thing, and it tells the story, and it's really cool.
That did not make my list.
I'm not surprised.
It's interesting, but I'm like...
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I think it's fun.
I want to color it.
That would be cool to color it.
but you have to be like consistent to make sure to color the same person the same way wherever they are.
Right. That would be the hard part.
Yes, it would. My number 16 is probably in his top 10. Pretty sure. I know it is. And that is Clank in Space. It's... That's a lie. Anyway, so Clank in Space, it was like the first game that really made me change my mind about deck building because it had a board and made it interesting. Stop looking seriously, Pom Pom. Anyway, so yeah, it opened my mind to deck builders because it made it more interesting with stuff actually happening besides just cards.
So my number 16 was Allison's number 50 or 49. I don't remember at this point.
Okay.
And that would be Dragon Prince Battle Charged. I actually really like this game. I love the theme, the IP of it.
Yes.
And I really like just the battle it out, move around, kind of open map style.
He's good at that.
Yeah.
Let's just say he's just really good at it.
And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. My number 15 is another Red Raven game. Notice some of my Red Raven games are actually like bumped up more. And that is Islebound. I feel like this one's often overlooked. I like the color scheme of it, and I like that it's a game where you're on a boat and doing things, but it doesn't feel so piratey. I don't know. I like the different options that you can go for and different strategies in the game.
Interesting. My number 15 is
Islebound?
Dune Imperium.
Okay.
So I did enjoy Dune Imperium a lot more than Allison did. I just like the kind of deck building. I like the world. I like the theme of it. Allison was definitely more of a Lost Ruins of Arnak person, which is still coming up on her list sometime.
Yeah, never know. Maybe I suddenly just hate the game, even though I'm waiting for the expansion to show up. My number 14 is Night Parade of 100 Yokai. This was one of my most anticipated games to arrive from Kickstarter, like, wow, that's like 2 years ago, year and a half ago. But I love how adorable it is. I love the cute meeples. I love the artwork, and I just love everything about it. And now I finally can play it in person and not on Tabletopia.
Yep. So my number 14 is a game that was lower on Allison's list.
Oh, the stupid higher lowers. Confusing.
And that is Regicide.
Okay.
Like Allison said, you can play this with a deck of cards, but the artwork on it is really beautiful. It's a puzzle, and
it's brutal.
So hard. And I don't think I've
won it once.
I know you won it once with, I think, a friend of yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never won, and it's such a hard puzzle.
You should try it solo.
I should.
You should. All right, my number 13 is one that I don't know if you'll have it on your list or not because you haven't even mentioned it yet, is Tiny Towns. So I really liked this game because you put out different cubes to make different patterns, to make different buildings, and it's kind of Tetris-y and puzzly. Again, I love puzzle games apparently, so if you got them, send them to me. I like Tiny Towns.
I actually hated Tiny Towns.
I know
and
you
know
did.
this.
Yep.
Until we played, what was it?
The Fortunes expansion.
Well, no, it's the...
Oh, the Guild? No.
It's like
Whitehall?
the marketplace? Or...
Whitehall? Whatever. It's the variant where instead of like calling out resources, you flip a card in this deck. And
yes.
Every third one is a wild, so you get to choose. I do like that because it takes out some of the vindictive drafting. Actually, well, I did it to you too.
Once I know I'm gonna lose, I'm just like stone.
Which is
because I know Allison will never use it and doesn't want it.
So mean.
Anyway, so that one was very low on my list.
All right.
My number 13 is not Tiny Towns. It is Railroad Inc. The Deep Blue edition, because that's the one we have and we've played the most of. I sit there and play this on my phone all the time, and it is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Kind of puzzling out the dice and trying to connect and score the highest points.
My number 12 is Railroad Inc. So I really like this roll and write, and it was the first actual roll and write that we tried, and I had like written off, haha, that genre of games, and that one actually changed my mind. And well, cartographers changed my mind, but it's a flip and write, so anyway, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, my number 12 is the last of the West Kingdom series that I have not mentioned yet, and that is Architects of the West Kingdom. I really love this game. I love the expansions we have for it. I could just play this game all the time.
I'm excited for the Kickstarter to come in because that has the new expansion and the playmat and the big box.
Anyway, it's a great game.
My number 11 surprised me a little bit. So when we did our rankings, we used Pub Meeple to kind of like help it, and then I shifted some if I needed to. And 11 ended up being Space Base. I thought it would actually end up being lower, whatever.
A higher number?
A higher number on my list. But I do like it, and I like that you have something to do on your off time. So it's like when it's not your turn, something could be happening, and you could earn something, so it's nice.
So my number 11 is a game that we have tried to play a couple times, but not really gotten into.
Wow.
And I think it would be higher on my list if we actually got into it and started playing it, but that is Sleeping Gods.
Okay.
We've only played like the introductory scenario and then like tried like part of the first whatever story or whatever, and I still just love this game, and it would honestly be higher on my list had we actually like played it more.
Yeah, that one was my number 63 because I'm like, I feel like we haven't really given it a proper chance, and I'm like, I have no idea, I'll probably like it better, but I'm like, oh my gosh, the rules.
Well, the rules, and it's just one of those hard ones to get out just because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And then it's always so long when we pull it out that we're like, okay, we have to really read over the rule book again because we don't really remember.
Exactly. All right, so that is our list 20 to 11. So we're almost done with our top 50 games. Next time we'll be talking about our top 10 games of 2021 that we played. So I'm Allison.
I'm Bryce, and I finally learned some math.
We're Better Half Reviews. Happy gaming.
Have fun. Okay. Those weren't not important?
We're not important.
I don't even know what these are.
Me neither. Challenge.
Besides a challenge to pick up.
Okay.